About 29% of registered voters, that's about 50 million people, are expected to use these electronic touchscreen machines next week. That's about double the number in the last election, and there is some concern.
These are new machines.
When we use electronic voting machines, we can think of it as a black box because we as human beings cannot look into that computer and see the internal bits. It's hidden from us. So as far as we're concerned, it could be just a big black box.
Is there any type of paper receipt that you get that confirms your vote?
No. The only confirmation you get is on the machine.
Since we can't see inside there, we can't know or we can't feel sure that what goes in terms of our votes stays there and actually gets counted.
There's a fundamental problem with the whole concept of a computer touchscreen machine. If there's a problem, there's no way of identifying the problem and fixing it if you have a machine that does not involve paper.
I want to mention something about conspiracy. No one has yet explained to my satisfaction the difference between a conspiracy and a long-range business plan. My primary area of activity has been to alert people to the dangers of electronic voting. The voter, him or herself, cannot determine whether or not their ballot choices have been recorded accurately in the computer. The computer can show one thing on the screen, but be recording something else internally. But the second and worst problem is that nobody can observe the ballots being counted. This is the fraudulent voting machine, and it's a demonstration that shows people what's wrong with electronic voting. It says, click here to start voting. That's where the voter goes into the booth. There's only one race because it's only a demonstration for teaching purposes. John Doe versus Mary Smith for president. I'm going to vote John Doe. I go to verify my ballot. And if there's no voter verified paper audit trail and there's no audit, everybody thinks that this is good. Because I voted for John Doe, it says John Doe, I say correct. It says poll worker may close the booth, we'll assume it's the end of the election day. And here's my final total. Now you can see that the vote was switched. But here's the kicker. If you're the election director, you are 100% within your rights to say, we had a perfect election. We had one voter, we have one ballot. I see no problems. And that's the problem with electronic voting. You see no problems.
What you really need is either a paper ballot in the first place, or you need to develop an electronic device where you vote on the electronic interface, and then the machine itself produces a paper ballot based on your choices that you then look at and put in the ballot box in the old-fashioned way.
Computers are the new 21st century threat to fair and full and democratic participation in the voting process.
In North Carolina, over 4,000 ballots are gone forever, lost when a voting machine passed its arbitrary limit. In South Florida, election officials were horrified to see vote totals start counting down after they hit 32,000.
One of the insidious things about touchscreen voting machines is that if there is foul play, it can, at least in theory, be perpetrated invisibly. You can cover your tracks completely.
All three voting systems have significant security and reliability vulnerabilities, which pose a real danger to the integrity of national and state elections.
Even if there is auditability in the system, the programmer, the rogue programmer, can change the audit trail as well. And this is something that's unprecedented.
You can change the software, you can infect the system with a virus.
Gaming systems, like your Microsoft Xbox 360 or Sony PlayStation 3, are engineered to resist a wide variety of tampering attacks. That level of engineering is entirely absent from voting machines.
With these machines, you can alter the outcome of a national election undetectably in a way that is just unprecedented in terms of its reach and the power to really play around. For those reasons, we should be much more careful of these machines than we've ever been in the past, and the evidence is actually we're being less careful.